Kuala Lumpur family. They, of course, used a pressure cooker to cook dalmat. Sometimes in the evenings, I'd be sitting downstairs in my room and I'd be listening to whistle after whistle. And I'd get a little worried. Is there going to be an explosion upstairs? This is especially worrisome when my host mother would be somewhere else in the house leaving the pressure cooker unattended. After those 9 months, I moved in on my own and started cooking on my own. Sometimes I would have my friends over for dalmat, and I would cook it in a saucepan, and they would wonder, where's your pressure cooker? One time, one of my friends came over with his pressure cooker and said, I want to cook dal in this. Pardon, no, Budena, no. But I relented, and I let him use it. I continued my habit of cooking dal in a saucepan for a little while. I even went back to the US. My house is at 3,300 meters. Everything takes a long time to cook there. Dalmat takes forever. At least an hour for the dal and the rice alone. One time I tried to cook chana masala. I tried to mimic the exotic taste of the spices that you find at the roadside shops here. Complete failure. Spices? Okay. Chana? 1.5 hours of cooking. Crunchy? Still an understatement. Slowly I began to realize that pressure cookers were okay and necessary, but I was a bit nervous. After I returned to Nepal to work with the World Food Program, I moved into my own apartment. My girlfriend, she was helping me move in. She told me, get a pressure cooker. No way, I said. But after a bit of back and forth, the women always win, I relented, and I got the pressure cooker. So she showed me how to, add the right amount of water to the rice for the pressure cooker as opposed to the pan, and make some simple pressure cooker curries, and then left me on my own to cook them. The first one, after 20 minutes on the phone of worried conversation with her, I cooked and it turned out quite well. It was quick and tasty. The second day, of course, I learned my first lesson about a pressure cooker. The first time, one thing you have to know about me is I'm quite stubborn. The first time I cooked it, I followed her steps exactly. Cook the rice, take it out. Cook the tomatoes, potatoes, and spices. When they're done, open it, put in the finely sliced courgette. I thought, why that last step? Why not just throw the courgette in at the beginning? Big mistake. Lesson 1, courgette in a pressure cooker is spicier than eating a jiri courgette by itself. So I called her and I said, why is it so spicy? Well, you dumbo, that's why I told you to put the pressure, they didn't last. So lesson 1 learned well. A few weeks later, I learned my second lesson. I was cooking rice and I went to the other room to read a book. 5, 10, 15 minutes later, no whistle. Why isn't my rice done? Worried a bit about a pressure cooker malfunction, I hurried to the kitchen to see steam spurting from the sides of the pressure cooker, and no whistle. Uh-oh, I thought this could be one of those explosive situations, so I went and I quickly turned off the pressure cooker. I opened the pressure cooker and my once white rice was brown. No, this isn't some magic trick where my nutrient-less white rice had quickly regained its nutrition. This was crunchy, burnt rice. Lesson 2, pressure cooker lid must be very tight-fitting. Well, since then, I've learned to use the pressure cooker quite well. I really enjoy them. In fact, I have 2, so I can cook more at once. I've even learned to cook my own bachelor meals. 1 pressure cooker, very simple. A good example is my nutrient-packed, perfect, the night before a 100-kilometer bike ride, pasta and beans. It's very simple. You just cook the beans and the spices, and then with 1 whistle left, you open it, add the pasta and a little bit of water, close it, and cook it the last whistle. It's okay, some of you it might not sound great, but to a then bachelor who needs nutrition in a short amount of time because of his busy schedule, it's quite good. I also found out that if you add brown rice instead of pasta, it saves you time because you don't have to open it in the middle because brown rice takes the same amount of cooking time as beans. However, I'm going to leave you with my last lesson. I am no longer a bachelor. And pasta and beans in a pressure cooker, even with a side of fresh rolled tartar, something that tastes amazing to me, it's not something to impress the fiancé with. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, many of you know me as somebody who's quite familiar with Nepal. I've lived here for almost 4 years. I speak the language fairly well. I picked up the cultural norms quite quickly. I even have a Nepali fiancé, one of our fellow Toastmasters. The pressure cooker, however, it took a little bit longer. But like the rest of the country, it has now become an essential part of my daily